All right, so if we continue on here, what we want to look at are if statements that'll let us use Boolean. And what the textbook starts using now is flowcharts. So I want to make a quick break off to flowcharts. Let me clear off my blackboard here. Don't need to see the statistics. And flowcharts have some definite symbols. These are starts and endpoints. Then an input and output. Get that shape. And you connect them with a line. Processing gets a rectangular shape. So that's processing. And a logical decision gets a diamond shape. And so if something, you continue your flow on the true branch, and you can continue your flow on a false branch. So, process false down here, and process true over here. So these are ways of organizing how your code is going to work. They're not bad, especially if you have some complex decisions going on, to look at how the flow of the program is going before you actually sit down and type the code. Generally, we've been having the program starts. We initialize our variables. Then we get input. And then we process. And in the processing, there might be decisions. Right, things go off this way, things go off this way. Right, other processing happens here. And then we get our output. And then we end. Start and end. So this becomes a nice little way of sketching out an idea before you actually sit down and code. And so the book's going to use flowchart symbols loosely to explain some of the logic going on. And so here we have a look at a Boolean expression and what would happen for an if statement. And if we look at the nature of the if statement, it says if the expression will return a true or false, then in between these curly braces, do something. And then the program continues. So in this case, it comes into the Boolean expression. If it's false, it ignores those statements. And then here's an example in code. If the radius is greater than 0, calculate the area. And then print the output. So if the radius is greater than 0, false would take it out and there'd be nothing displayed and nothing calculated. And if it was true, then the program would continue down, do the calculation, and print to the screen. And these are called one-way if statements because the false jumps over what's happening with the true in this particular logic set. Now, there is a note of some errors that can happen here. If I is greater than 0, the Boolean statement needs to be in parentheses. It needs to be processed with parentheses. And so make sure there are parentheses on the Boolean statement. And then if I is greater than 0, and we have these braces that contain what's going to happen. Well, if you only have one line of code, you don't need to include the braces. You can do if this is true, do something. I am a strong advocate of including the braces because we might need to add else statements and have two-ways ifs, and then you'd need to come back in and add the braces later. So I think it's good for the readability of the code to have always have the curly statements contain what's in the if. Also notice that it's indented, so we can see that we are in a different level coming down. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to go over, and I'm going to add an if statement to our addition quiz instead of having it print the result the way it did. And so that'll be in the next little. Again, I'm trying to cut these videos down, because I had to record them a lot this weekend because of some problems with the sound. And also because people have been saying they're a little long to watch. So I'm going to try them in short little segments here and see if that makes it easier on everyone.